Welcome to the EmpowerHer Wellness Podcast. I'm Morgan, and I'm thrilled to be your host and wellness coach as we navigate the path to a healthier, more confident you. As the owner of Get Fit With Me, I bring years of experience in personal training, nutrition, and coaching to each episode. Join me as we explore practical tips and strategies for fitness, nutrition, mindset, and more, all tailored for busy women just like you. Let's empower your wellness journey and achieve lasting transformation together. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to an episode of the EmpowerHer Wellness Podcast. I'm your host and coach, Morgan Ekovich, and we are into more than 100 episodes, and I am so excited. So as we're kind of moving into the fall time, I wanted to do a quick episode today to talk about some reminders as we are in this transition period, specifically around nutrition. So I'm going to tell you what, I have had a very full summer. It's been amazing. August has been a very full month. We've had 3 weddings, we've had a 100th birthday party, and this upcoming weekend, I actually have nothing. And I am so excited because what I find is when life is full and when life is on the go, what happens is meal prep and planning gets pushed to the wayside, or we're able to do a little bit of it, but not exactly what we want it to look like. And I know there's a lot of you who also are feeling this way, that as we start to move into September, this is a transition month for you. Maybe you don't have kids, but it's just like you're moving into fall and schedules change. Or maybe you are a parent and you are noticing, yep, kids went back to school last week, or they're going back to school this week or next week, and you're in that transition period, which takes time. Every transition that we have, whether it's from season to season or a stage of life to another stage of life, it takes time to get into it. And I'm really excited that I have this weekend of just kind of preparing for fall. I'm going to do some cleaning. I'm going to do some prepping of food. I'm going to do some of my meal planning, kind of go through some of the stuff that I have in my cupboards to be like, okay, what do I have? What can I use? Trying to get back into that, because when life is full or life is busy, whichever bucket you're falling into right now, sometimes we just feel like we're keeping our head above water and that we are just treading water at that point. But when you can get a chance to take an exhale and get ahead of things, or even get not even head, just get caught up a little bit, or to the exact level of where you're like, look at that. We actually ordered groceries this week. Whatever that looks like that is a win. So nutrition wise, I wanted to talk about a few things as we move into that fall time. If you are still able to get that sweet corn, I'm saying this because I've been doing this for the last couple of weeks, is continue to buy that sweet corn, especially if you love it in the winter. Buy it, cook it, cut it off, and freeze it so that this winter you can have fresh sweet corn, locally grown, all of that. It's just so much better than that store bought. So I wanted to share that out there because that's a tip that my neighbors down the road actually taught me. He's like, oh yeah, every week we cut up and we freeze, so we have sweet corn all winter long. Like, such a great idea. So I wanted to share that first tip with you. Then the next thing I want to talk about is meal prepping and planning. And I've talked about meal prepping and planning in a variety of different ways, but today I want to remind you that it's going to look different for every single person. So first step to any meal prep and planning that you need to remember is it comes down to creating a plan. You can't be prepping food before you have a plan to make that happen. For instance, I see a lot of people buy a bunch of fruits and veggies and then they sit in the fridge and then they go moldy and gross. We've all been there. We've all done it. But if we create a plan first, so looking whether it's at your week, your month, maybe it's even just the day before, the next day is what you're planning for. Each of us are going to plan differently. But what I want you to do is I want you to physically write down a plan, whether you use an app or you use a piece of paper or you use a calendar that goes on the wall, does not matter. But what I want you to do is I want you to create a plan. What are your meals looking like? What's your breakfast look like? What are your snack options? And the reason we do this is, if you've ever done food logging, when we are not planning in advance, or when we're trying to eat a certain way, if we're not creating that plan, we're just willy-nilly buying things and hoping the pieces fit together. So if we food logged and we've looked at your diet and we've said, okay, we need to get more protein in, we need to get more fiber, and our serving of vegetables are really low, we need to increase those. And you're not planning to help support that goal, what happens during the week is you may look in your fridge and say, oh, I have no vegetables. Oh yeah, I was supposed to eat more vegetables this week. There's a disconnect. And I've been noticing that a lot. As we food log, we get all the details, but then we just go and we just continue to buy the same foods that don't actually support the goals that we are trying to put into play. So that being said, physically sitting down and planning, it could take you 15 minutes or it could take you an hour. Does not matter how much time and energy you put into it. What matters is that you are sitting down and you are planning what that week looks like. Okay, kids have hot lunch all week. I don't need to make them lunch. What is my lunch going to look like? What is hubby's lunch going to look like? What is your partner's lunch going to look like? Whatever that is, being aware of that and noticing that and planning for it. Because I was having this conversation with one of my clients actually not too long ago. We were talking about how fast food really is not as fast as it used to be. There used to be a point when you would get in the McDonald's drive-through line, you would go through it and you would be out, and fast food was fast food. Now, I don't know if you've noticed this or you've been in line or you've driven through. Anytime I see a fast food restaurant, you're in line for at least 10 minutes, unless there is luckily nobody in front of you. But I have not seen that. So what that means is you've got 10 minutes of waiting at least in your line. But I can almost guarantee that with some planning, we can find a way to make sure that you've got an easy grab and go lunch that will take you just as much time as it does to sit in that line and eat it, as it does for you to grab it, warm it up, and eat it. Yes, everybody is individual. So I'm not going to do a blanketed statement as that works for everybody. But even when I've started to go to the Better Health Market in Frandor, somebody had told me they have a lunch bar and they've got sandwiches and they've got a salad bar and they've got a soup station. And I was like, okay, I need something for lunch. I need something quick. Let me go in there. I was in it. It took me longer to decide what I wanted that day than it did for me to actually walk in, pay, and get out of there. I was in and out with sitting there going over, oh, what should I have? Should I have this? Should I have that? In less than 10 minutes. And granted, you may run into a long line. Like, there are things that are unpredictable. But what I noticed is there are better options out there than fast food. And when I can't get ahead and make that plan, which, like I said, life has been really full and busy recently, I have not been on top of making sure I've got proteins prepared, making sure I have vegetables prepared. I have not been on top of that, and I'm completely honest about it. Does that mean it's not happening? No, it just means my life has been a hell of a lot harder because I have to make it in the moment every time. I've been living off frozen veggies, which you guys have probably been hearing all summer, because they're just quick and convenient. So my ultimate goal for you is that you have something quick and easy at home that you can make in advance and take with you, or that you have a big bulk meal of that you've created and you're scooping out of it. For instance, the chicken salad that we make, fantastic. Make a huge container of it. Eat that throughout the week. Simple and easy. If that's not an option, figure out, are there stores that you can go in and grab a quick option? Those foods tend to be a little higher quality for you. There's going to be less hidden fats and the quality is going to be better. Your third option is that fast food. So what I'm saying here is, as you are in this transition mode, or as you've had a really full summer here, you may be noticing you're kind of swaying more one way or another. Planning's not going well. You're eating out a lot. Even if it's not fast food, you're just eating out a lot. That happens because of our lack of planning. So when I go back to planning and prepping, we're going to start with that planning portion. Literally get out on the piece of paper and write out exactly what you are having. It doesn't mean you have to eat it the exact day you say you're going to, but by creating that plan, that creates an actual grocery list for you to follow. And then that means you're only going to buy the foods you're going to eat that week. And things are not going to go just randomly bad in your fridge, so you're not going to waste money there. You're not going to waste money by eating out when you have all the food and stuff at home. And then from there, when it comes home, it can look totally different. For some of you, it's going to look like cooking up all of your proteins. It's going to look up cooking up rice and potatoes for the week. It's going to look like having vegetables ready to go. It may look like having all of those things either pre-portioned out or in a big container where you can scoop out. That right there is fantastic. For some of you, it may mean you are literally taking it out of the package and putting it in the fridge to make it easy to grab. Maybe it's just washing those grapes so that when you reach in the fridge, you can grab a handful of grapes rather than having to pull them off, wash them, which I know sounds very small, but I understand that when you're looking in the fridge and you are hungry and you need something easy, it needs to be able to grab and go. One of the tricks I tell people, and I tell them it for the summer, but it works all year round, is you can get one of those containers or you can buy one and you can make your own fruit and veggie trays that you keep in the fridge at all times. When the kids come home from school or when you come home from work and you know you're snacky but you don't really want dinner yet, get that out, set it on the counter. Every time you walk by, you're going to end up nibbling on something. You can make a high protein ranch. You can, with cottage cheese or yogurt, you can grab a hummus. You can grab some higher quality dips rather than just your chip dip. There are some better ways to make some, not chip dip. I always default to that quality dairy dip, but that stuff is good. But I don't dip my veggies in that. But if you want veggie dip, you can make a higher quality veggie dip that doesn't have as much of those added fats and oils that our body doesn't necessarily need. We can make a healthier option that makes us feel good and doesn't make us go all the way over on our calories or macros if we are somebody who's tracking that. It's just about being conscious of that. And if you don't have the time to make the tray, buy a fruit and veggie tray. Buy it, pop the top off, put it out on the table. When you're done, pop the top on, put it back in the fridge. Easy peasy. Have snacks available, especially if you know you are somebody who tends to eat breakfast. Lunch kind of gets lost. You're really snacky after work before dinner, but dinner's a little later. Have a plan for what that snackiness looks like. That goes back to being aware of our body and what's happening, our hunger. When are we fueling? Are we even fueling? Have we had any food today? And some of that is a lot of my clients, we're working through that right now because depending on the stage of life, the food, we may not just be hungry. That is not me. I used to be like that. Like I remember when I was go at horse shows, I think I'd eat breakfast, do something small, and then something at dinner, but we were go all day long. That's not the case anymore because I know at 3 o'clock I hit a slump if I have not ate a meal. And sometimes that means an actual full meal like you guys have seen me post. Sometimes that is some yogurt with some granola, something small to get me to that next piece. It depends on what the schedule looks like, but I go into the week knowing what that looks like. And that doesn't mean you have to do your planning on the weekend either. This is the last thing I'll say before we wrap up, because like I said, today's going to be a short episode. Meal prep and planning does not have to happen on Saturday or Sunday. It doesn't. I have somebody who meal preps and plans on Wednesdays. Their week for food is a Wednesday because that's when they go into town. They live in the country. That's when they go into town, and that is when they order their groceries and they do pickup. There is no rule that says meal prepping and planning only has to be done on Saturday and Sunday. No, honestly, as I'm filming this and as this episode comes out, it is a Thursday. I am doing my meal prep and planning today. I'm going to make my list. I've already started my list of what I need. I've got to fill in what this next couple weeks because I tried not to go to the grocery store every week if I don't have to. And I'm going to get the things that I need. And if I need to go back because I missed something in my planning or life threw a curveball, I will. But at the same time, I know what is happening. I know what is happening and I can make plans good enough to say, hey, I have the right things to fuel me. I have the right things. One of the things that I've been missing that I did not do a good job of this summer was canned chicken and canned tuna. I should have bought more of those because there were so many lunches where because I didn't prep my protein or I didn't defrost it because it was in the freezer, I was kind of left it to the mercy of eggs. And don't get me wrong, I love eggs, but there's only so many of those in a day that you can eat. So that being said, as you move into this transition period, this fall, this back to school, this whatever stage you are in, because there is a season change, which means our schedules change a little bit. I want you to get back into it. If you've fallen off the wagon, get back into it. And one of the things we do is we have a cooking club, and once a month we get together and we cook together on that cooking club. So our last cooking club was actually last Sunday, and we made shrimp and chicken rice bowls with veggies, and it was so good. I will make sure to share some photos. It was delicious, and it was something that you could have made a lot of. We made them with chicken and shrimp because we have some people who have seafood allergies, but we get on Zoom, we cook together. Some people cook even more of their meals. Some people, it's just the accountability of showing up and knowing other women are getting themselves ready for the week. Other people just cook that meal and are done. You can come and take what you need and leave what you don't, which is why I love the cooking club. So we do a live cooking class every single month, and then I give you 3 to 4 more additional recipes that are quick, simple, easy. This upcoming month, we've got some really great ones for quick and easy snacks that you can make a lot of that are going to be nice for you for that sweet tooth, but also for your kids if you are tired of them always grabbing those granola bars and those other random things. So we've got a lot of fun stuff coming up with the cooking club this fall. We'll move into some more cozy meals instead of summer and bright and yummy meals. We'll move into a little bit more cozier as fall and football time moves on. But as a reminder, when it comes to planning and prep, it's going to look different from you to you to you. It's going to be different. It's not going to look exactly the same. It's not even going to be the same as me. But the thing that has to happen is you have to start with the planning portion, because if not, you know how it goes. You end up with just random things and you don't know what to do with them. So hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, that you had a great week, and I will see you guys all back here next Thursday. Thank you for tuning in to the Empower Her Wellness Podcast. I hope you found today's episode inspiring and packed with actionable tips. Remember, your journey to becoming the strongest, most confident version of yourself is just beginning. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode and join our community of empowered women. Until next time, stay strong and stay confident.